Good day everyone. Today I am going to discuss about content standards, particularly what are they, their purpose, and an example of a content standard. First, let us identify content standard. Content standard describe what learners are expected to know and understand after a lesson or learning experience. They identify the essential knowledge, concept, and skills that learners should develop. In simple words, content standards tell us what should learn. They also help teachers determine what important topics and content should be included in their lesson. For example, if you are teaching English, the content standard may focus on helping learners understand different figures of speech and how they are and used in communication. So, content standard mainly focus on knowledge and understanding. Now let's move on to the purpose of content standard. There are four important purposes. First, they identify what learners need to learn. So, content standard give teachers a clear idea of the knowledge and skills that students should develop. So, second, they guide lessons and instruction. Teachers use content standard as a guide when planning their lessons, activity, and discussions. Third, they organize important knowledge and concepts. They help make use that the most important information is included and taught in the learners. Fourth, they set clear expectation for learning. They, they tell both teachers and students what learners are expected to know and understand by the end of the lessons. Therefore, content standards are important because they provide direction and focus in teaching and learning process. For example, we have English, figure of speech. The content standard states, learners demonstrate understanding of different figures of speech and their uses in communication. This means that learners are expected to understand different figures of speech, such as simile, metaphor, and personification, and understand how these are used when communicating ideas. For example, in the sentence, her smile is like sunshine. You are using simile because we compare her smile using the word like. The focus of this content standards is knowledge and understanding. This means that before a student can effectively use a figure of speech, they first need to understand what they are, recognize their different types, and know their purpose.